KYmedia.net is proud to support Chamber Chats and support small business.
The Richmond Chamber of Commerce says, we're open for business.
Welcome to this edition of Chamber Chats with your host, Mindy Goble.
Welcome to this week's Chamber Chat. Today we have Scott Collins from Elder Law Guidance. Kind of tell me, Scott, about what you all do. Maybe people at home don't know really what you do, so kind of explain that.
Sure. If you're familiar with basic estate planning attorneys, elder law is that on steroids. Most estate planners are worried about helping you determine where your things go once you've passed away. And while we do all of that, we also help you take care of your things before you get to the very final stages of life, because most of us are going to be facing huge long-term care plans and bills and things along that line, and that's really what we specialize in.
So kind of tell me, you're very specialized in that age group. Kind of tell me what you all can provide since you are so specialized. I'm sure you can do a lot within that group for your clients.
We sure can. There's a whole lot of concern from just a basic standing point of being prepared for someone stepping in and helping with issues, whether it's healthcare or financial. So you start with basic powers of attorney, which in my opinion is the most important legal document you could have. But there's the need to plan and structure your assets so if you do need long-term care, which is about 70% of us are going to need that, at the tune of about $82,000 to $85,000 a year.
Okay.
It's a huge expense on average. We're going to spend about $320,000 per person, per couple, before we do pass away. And so to protect your assets, to be able to be so that you do have something left to give on to your children, to pass on to your heirs, you need to plan, you need to structure. Now, it's never too late to do that, even if I'm already facing a healthcare crisis, already in a facility, for instance.
Okay.
Or maybe I just need care at home, because there are lots of options to get care at home and get the financial help you need to afford that. So that's the specialty that we work within.
And so when you're looking at maybe a potential client, when do they start searching for a firm like yours to kind of help them with that? When's the right time to do that?
I'd like for them to come when they're in their 50s.
Okay.
Most of the time, humans always tend to put things off to the last minute. So if it is that you or your spouse are already into a facility, or perhaps it's often the children who are in their 60s taking care of their parents who are in their 80s.
Okay.
They usually seek us out then. But I'd like to see it happen that people reach out to us when they're nearing retirement in their late 50s, early 60s. That gives us plenty of time to prepare and make sure everything they have is safe.
And so it's never too late, you say. Kind of going into, you do something that maybe it's hard to talk about with people, so I know that you all give some type of special care for those people, because it's hard to talk about planning for the future in that sense.
It is. We do. I provide a lot of helps to people. Oftentimes I'll actually do a session where it will be me helping the family talk through, not just speaking of death and dying, but no one wants to have to go into a nursing facility. There's all kinds of issues of losing control. Oftentimes what we're talking about is, how do you take the keys from dad? That's often our last feeling of independence, how to deal with that. A lot of times they're just more personal and intimate things of being, I don't want my children undressing me and taking care of intimate things like that. And relationship issues, believe it or not, among seniors are something you have to talk about, the intimate details of relationships, because it's just, when we're dealing with death, dying, dementia, and Alzheimer's, we are not the same person anymore to our family. And it just is really hard to navigate that and know how to still treat people with dignity and respect and deal with the conflict that comes as people lose control and go through those sorts of things.
Yeah, and so you cover that whole with such special care, I'm sure. And we're going to put all the information up on the screen, your Facebook, your website, where they can reach out and contact with you to have maybe even set up an appointment. Is that what you all do, is set up an initial appointment?
Yeah, I'd love that. Our initial consults are free. If they will give us a call, we'll set them on the schedule, give them some resources that help educate them prior to that, and do anything we can to help them.
Well, perfect. Thank you so much, Scott, for joining us. And we'll be back next week with our Chamber Chat. And for now, you can follow us on Instagram and Facebook to stay up to date on all of our upcoming events. And we'll see you next week.
KYmedia.net is proud to support Chamber Chats and support small business.
The Richmond Chamber of Commerce says, we're open for business.